Tim Lacomb, the assistant coach of BYU basketball, joining us in Studio B to recap the 2015-2016 season. Tim, how do you feel about that Forrest Gump comparison?
That would be a good tagline, right? Although, we, like you guys said earlier, I mean, there were some great things that went on, but from our vantage point, we make our goals pretty clear every year, and we fell short of that, and so in the end, what you'll have is, and for us, it's a season where we did some really, really great things. We had some tough nights as well, but the thing I'll probably hang my hat on when it's all said and done is how these kids stayed together, and when things were really tough, and when a lot of teams would have just packed it in, they made a run here at the end, and made something neat happen for us to be able to go back to New York. And obviously we chose to be in the NCAA tournament, but I don't know that, I guess in life, everybody's life throws a little curveball at you here and there, and it's kind of what you do with it. And I'm really proud of what these guys were able to do this year and the way they hung with it. It was a really coachable group. They tried hard, and some nights we had some tough things happen, but overall it was a year we'll look back on, like you guys said, with 26 wins. We were just back at the Final Four, and everybody's coming up saying, great year, and you're talking to people, and how many games do you guys win? We won 12, we won 11, we won 15. So, I mean, we are on the high end.
You win 26.
Yeah, and they're like upset with me that I'm disappointed, right? But what it is Coach Rose has created, this is historic time in BYU basketball, and it's exciting that people are disappointed or frustrated with 26 wins. I mean, there would have been times where, but it's true. And we got some really good things going on and happening. So hopefully we can, continue positive momentum like we had at the end of the season into next year.
We want to push to next season in a moment, but today we're kind of wrapping up 2015-16 with the end of the NCAA college basketball season. An unbelievable finish the other night, as you know. What were some of the highlights of this season for you that you'll remember?
I think that our win at Gonzaga was really big, particularly where we were at that point, after losing to St. Mary's on the road. And but what I always think about the guys and the players, and watching the highlights of Kyle and Chase and Nate. The three kids will stand out because it was their last chance to try to do this. And then some of the new faces we had, Kyle Davis got to play for us this year, who's going to be on the show later. And Zach Sellius was, what big shot didn't he hit?
Oh, man, Mr. Clutch.
Nick Emery had a terrific year. And so there's lots of things that we can build on as well. And each guy kind of had their little moment during the season. So those things are what I'll kind of remember about this team, and the way that after tough things, they were able to step up and make great things happen. Our win at home here against St. Mary's, our NIT wins, those three wins in the environment in this building, with UAB and Creighton, Virginia Tech. Those three games were just tremendous, and the guys, the way they fought, and those were three really good teams. The way the guys fought and hung together, and so hopefully we can just build on that. But that's kind of what I'll think about, those three kids and then the new guys that have come in and kind of helped us out.
BYU basketball assistant coach Tim Lacomb with us in Studio B. We are recapping the 2015-2016 BYU hoops season. When you look back at what your team did on the floor schematically and in terms of what you wanted to accomplish, where do you feel like you exceeded expectations with on-the-floor performance?
I think the one thing that's pretty common with our team and something we were really good at this year was when we were at our best, we really shared the ball. I think you go back to the nights where we didn't play very well and the ball kind of stuck. And sometimes it was what the other team did to us. They understood what we were trying to do and really kind of made the ball stick. But when our guys shared the ball, and one thing about Coach Rose's teams, I mean, we share the ball. That ball moves around. We had different guys doing it every night. Defensively, we made strides. This was year one of this staff. Coach Lewis came in and we all worked together on trying to make defense better. I think we improved 100 spots in the national rankings over
defensive
efficiency. Yeah.
Wow.
And really, that's what you go by. I mean, you can't look at a game and say, if a team holds the ball all game, they held somebody to 44, but their offense held somebody to as well. I mean, we're racing the ball up. We're shooting the ball.
St. Mary's.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But our deal is, that's something we got to continue to get better at. And if, we can improve again that much and with new faces. And the cool thing is a lot of these kids have, with Quincy particularly, Eric and TJ have played the system. And then we've got, guys who, like Eric, has played Division I basketball. He understands what the rigors are and what the season's like. So, hopefully we'll continue to build defensively on that. But I think offensively we were really, really good. The way we shared the ball, our assist numbers were up. We shot the ball pretty well from three. Had three guys really, really good shooting, with Chase, Nick, and Zach really shoot that ball from three. So it was fun. At times, we were pretty unbeatable force. And so that's what we got to kind of continue to find is toughness on the defensive end and the way to share the ball on the offensive end.
The excitement and hype with the next couple of years with the Lone Peak 3 and company is tangible. Everyone's very excited. Some people are using like, hey, road to the Final Four maybe, in the next couple of years. Is there like any pressure to do that, or what do you think of that? When first, I know you guys want to win the league kind of first, right?
Well, I mean, our goals don't change. I think everybody gets excited and this and that, but our goal every year, and we've talked about 100 times on here, but it's to win our league, and which we haven't done yet in this league. So I'm with you. I mean, we need to do that. And doing that is a big deal because Gonzaga has been pretty much unbeatable in this league, right? They've won it for most of the time. They go to the NCAA tournament 17 times in a row. So those are two things, we got to win the league. The league tournament's a big deal because it gets us into the tournament. And then getting into the tournament and advancing is always our second goal. So I think you start with something you can control, and the thing we can control is winning our league and trying to get in the tournament and advance.
TJ Haas just returned from his mission. I think he's been home all of maybe a couple of weeks now.
8
days, not even a couple of weeks.
He actually got home the night we played our last game.
That's right.
So that's when the season ended, 8 days ago, which is crazy. But yeah, he's been home 8 days.
How quickly do you expect a return missionary? And I know TJ might be an exception because he's got that mentality like his brother where it's just like, all in focus about business. How quickly do you expect him to return to normal form, I guess?
We expect all our guys to come in, and the great thing is he has a ton of time right now. And he's in the gym a lot already, from what I understand. Talked with him when he got home. And he like Ty, he loves the game, and he's in the gym every morning. His grandpa tweeted out something the other day that talked to Marty, and you don't lose your stroke, which
we read it.
That's great. Yeah, that was great to hear. So, we'll meet with him soon this week, and he'll be in school in the summer. But up until that point, he's kind of working on getting himself back in shape and finding his stroke. He won't play any pickup or anything live for 6-8 weeks. So it's just going to be kind of getting his body right and getting back into the skill part of the game. But I expect him to be just like his brother in terms of being in the gym every day, and it's a real priority to him to be good. And TJ is going to be a huge piece of this thing for us.
How's scheduling going for next season?
Scheduling is good. We have games to get, so we'll be pretty active in trying to do that. I spent a lot of time at the Final Four hitting people up on trying to get games, and so we'll work on that pretty diligently here over the next month or two, and hopefully we've got games that just need to be dated because we've got contracts in place, and then we've got to go out and start new contracts. So we're obviously going to try to find the very best teams we can, and be a part of hopefully some really good games, both here in the Marriott Center and on the road as well.
I'm a coach at like Drexel or VCU or whatever. Like, what's the conversation like to be like, yeah, come to Provo, like we win like 90% of the games?
Few people understand how hard that is, I'm sure.
Well, what's crazy is we start with the big guys. That's where we're going to go first, and so the Final Four is hilarious because you act like you're really interested in them personally, but you really just want to get a game. So,
hey, how's the fam? How's what's your wife's name again?
Right. Yeah. So no, but that's the reality of it. So we got games to get, and hopefully we'll be able to get some games that will be really good for our number. That's what we're always looking to try to do. So that's what, if anybody wonders what we'll be doing, we'll be recruiting and scheduling over the next few months. And then once summer starts, we'll be able to start working our guys out for 2 hours a week for 8 weeks during that period, doing skill work and things like that. So, it's pretty cyclical how this thing goes, and we're just on the front end now of the off season.
You want to get into another Thanksgiving or Christmas tournament? Is that the goal? Every
Yeah,
year?
those have been really good for us, and we're kind of in conversations. Things haven't totally been announced yet, but over the next few weeks, I'm sure things will start to kind of come out. And then toward the end of the summer, like August, July, August, we'll put our schedule out. But yeah, that MTE format, the multi-team event, has been really good for us because you get games at home, and then you go play on a neutral site against good teams. Those have been good for us, so we'll continue to try to find those.
I would imagine that you have plenty of suitors because BYU plays an exciting brand of basketball, and that has been well documented and really blown up with social media. So they probably come to you, right? Am I right in assuming that? And they want BYU to come play in those tournaments?
Yeah, the tournament thing is actually really good for us. And our relationship, obviously, with the school and ESPN is really good because ESPN controls a lot of those as well. So that's been really great for us. It's finding the home and homes where people, like you said, they're not all that thrilled about coming to Provo. And so
sometimes they cancel. It happens.
It happens, yeah. And so and then we just pick up pieces and try to find games. So that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. When you look at the roster next year, a lot of people know kind of Lone Peak 3 and company, but there's two guys that really stick out to me that are going to be really good on this team next year, in my opinion. Elijah Bryant, who redshirted this year, and Yoli Childs from my rival high school, Bingham. What can you tell us about those two guys?
Elijah was just in the office this morning, and he's really, really serious about this, man. He wants to be really good. He's one of those kids that made a huge list. These are the things I want to work on. And you'd love to see that. You see a self-driven kid who really wants to be good, but also wants your team to be good. Elijah had a great off season this year, redshirt season, I should say. He was great in practice. There were days where he was, as good as anybody in the gym. So he's got a great future, and hopefully he just stays with it day by day, stays healthy, and he's a physical kid. He can really shoot the ball. He can get in the lane and finish, and he also is a really great passer. So he's going to be good for us. Yoli Childs he just brings a smile to my face because he's a young kid that just talked to his mom last night, and she's like, he's a 70-year-old and a 17-year-old. Like he's already planning, what he's going to do in graduate school. I mean, he's a thinker, and he won the state championship this year. He was the MVP of the 5A. Sorry. But Yoli's awesome kid who he's a physical kid. He's really skilled. He's going out and playing in some big-time all-star games he got invited to here in the next week or two. But he's terrific. He'll be so good for our program. And the one thing when we're really good, we have guys at every position that push each other, and that's what he'll do. He'll be in that spot to help push the other guys, which will be great.
His AAU coach, Tim Davis, told me that of all the great players he's coached, I mean, he's coached a long list of really good players at that AAU level. He says Yoli is probably the hardest worker he's ever coached.
Oh, I can't speak to that because he's obviously the one but I can tell you this, he's been the kind, he texts me all the time about what can I do, what things can I work on. He's constantly in the gym. He's constantly lifting, and now once his school starts to kind of wind down and he's got the summer before he enrolls, he's like, I want to come down all the time, watch film. I want to get a grasp on this. So like I said, he's a thinking player, but he's also dedicated hard worker. And I think he'll fit really great with the pieces that we already have in place, both socially and then, as well on the floor. So he'll be great.
Tim, great to have you in studio, man.
Thank you.
We always like to talk movies and music and, whatever, pop culture with you. So thanks for letting us bring that into the conversation as well.
Concert season's coming up, man.
That's right, baby.
What's the first concert for you?
Gosh, man, I think it's Offspring.
Yes.
Offspring in May. But I'm going to hit them all. I'm going to go to everything.
You and Coach Rose are like big-time concert guys. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, I was bummed in New York. We won that Wednesday night, Iron Maiden was playing in the Garden.
Yep.
And I was there, but...
You wouldn't have made it out alive.
Oh, I would have. I've been to several Iron Maiden shows. I know my way around. Don't let the short hair fool you.
Okay. Tim, great to have you in Studio B, man.
Thanks, guys.